This is about what do we use scoring rubrics when assessing speaking. Teachers need to evaluate with a organized form. We need to evaluate some categories. For example, we can evaluate with interviews to evaluate the pronunciation, or if students are learning the content class, or making role plays to make discussion or conversations. This is the example for for evaluate the assessing speaking with criteria like evaluate the content or the belong, and if students have coherence, or other category could be to evaluate the criteria about fluency, good pronunciation. It could be a level for good score, for example, the exceeds if a student exceeds the expectations, it could contribute with interesting and new ideas about the theme. This level has a point from 4 to 2 points, or we can to evaluate with other category. For example, if a student didn't learn, or we can evaluate in a low category with low score. For example, if a student not yet meeting expectation, it means that the students don't provide with relevant point of views. This category has a score about 1 point. That is an example about this assessing speaking. Then we can evaluate with a rubric to evaluate the assessing writing. We can organize the evaluation with first that's determining the evaluation instrument, the assessment tasks. For example, students can make a paragraph. The example is, what is your opinion about obey the inoculation system? Students have made a paragraph about this, and this has to take a score about 1 point about a rubric with 10 points. The example of this type of evaluation, writing evaluation, is it has the criteria, the level of expectation in a high scores or low scores. This example contains, in the criteria must have the aspects that we need to evaluate. For example, if to know if the students has development and coherence to write the paragraph or the work writing. And the other criteria could be if the students have grammar or good grammar structure in this work, in this writing work, and in the categories to evaluate is to know if students exceeds the expectations or the students, if students not yet meeting the expectations. We have the points in the rubrics. The difference between analytic and holistic rubrics could be the holistic rubrics contain different levels of performance that describes the quality or quantity in the work. We have an example of a holistic rubric. We can evaluate by levels that describes if students are learning or if learned the content of class. For example, the level could be the best. The level could be called with the category proficiency. If a student have the maximum level of score, if to include in this category in the rubric, if students collect the best data analyze results. The next category could be to know if students have an adequate score. The next category could be the limited, if the students have a limited level of performance. Then we have the analytic rubrics that include general dimensions of language performance. It describes in general form if students are fulfill their achievement. This is an example of analytic rubric. In this rubric include, for example, if such as teacher, we need to know if the students have the best level about questions. We can evaluate in this category. For example, asking about questions in this category. Students ask a variety of questions, could be characteristic of this category. Then in this rubric we can evaluate if students provide the best information. Example, students answer partner questions. Then we have vocabulary or accuracy. It helpful to know if students get the achievement or the objectives of evaluation, describing in a general form in the rubric, analytic rubric. The bibliography is Feeder A 1999, rubrics and checklists, it was a reading and writing, New York Scholastic Place, Deborah 21, a collection of performance takes and rubrics. Developing using analyzing rubric, a language assessment with case studies in Asia and Pacific language, National Foreign Language Resource Center. Thank you.